And there's a button for share screen. There it is. And audience window. There we go. Okay, I think we're all here. Okay, so let me get to the right page. That's not going to be any good. There we go. All right. Do I got it all together? Probably not, but let's do it. So
just so you know, my volume is all the way up and it's a little bit hard to hear you. Like you're a little low.
Okay, let me see.
Just so
if
you know.
I can adjust that. Generally, once I start talking, I have a big mouth.
Okay.
But that won't be a problem. Let me. Well, if Canva would cooperate with me, this would go easier. Okay. I got it. I think maybe not. There we go. Do you see pages moving? When I click on them, Ray? Is the pages moving when I click on them for you? Yes. Okay. Canva wasn't doing anything there for a second. All right. I think I have it together now. So this workshop is designed for beginner witches, but your workbook will have all the details to like dig into it deeper. We're just going to touch on that here for the workshop. I like to try to keep them where I don't go over anybody's head, if that makes sense. I have you on the wrong screen here, so I'm going to keep looking over here at you instead of looking at my camera. So for the month of April, in the Facebook group, we've been talking about harnessing the power of the moon for our witchcraft energy. And this is just going to go more into detail. During the lives, we were talking about the phase the moon was in based on what the zodiac sign that it was in. So this is going to go more into detail on each specific phase and what magics to use. The moon is great for manifestation work. So the workbook is actually going to walk you through that step by step throughout the month to bring those goals into fruition. So if you're here on the replay, in your portal, classroom portal, there's a discussion board. So just let me know that you've watched the replay. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in there. And I will answer them as soon as they come in. They go straight to my email. So for the workbook, the VIP access, which you purchased, Linda, is lifetime access. It'll stay uploaded on that site. If we move to a new platform, it'll move with it, and we'll give you access there. So you have the workbook, you have all the worksheets, and there's a one-on-one discussion board. So any questions you have regarding it at any time, just let me know. The workbook is designed to deepen our understanding of that magic and walk us through it. So it has 60, 70 pages now. I don't remember what it came out being. Each section includes detailed explanations for the lunar phase, energies, correspondences, exercises for incorporating that into our practice. And whatever level you're at on your witch path journey, it helps you develop that deeper connection and learning how to harness that transformative power. There are journaling prompts, note-taking spaces, all that right there in the workbook, if you wanted to print that and work through it. And if you combine the info from the workshop with practical guidance and the tools provided in the workbook, you're well on your way to unlocking your full potential in Moon Magic. In the workbook, if there is anything that is underlined or highlighted in blue, it is usually a link. The table of contents hyperlinks to each pages. So if you want to go to a certain section, just click, it'll go through. If it is an outside link, Amazon or anything like that, my husband's a nerd. All the links are vetted. He won't let me get, my system won't let me get to anything that is unsafe. So all the links in that workshop are safe for you. If you are joining us on the free replay before the lifetime access, there is a free ebook, Moon Magic Made Easy, and it is basically the bare bolts of that workbook. It's going to talk about just the correspondences and different types of magics you can do. That is free at any time and will be available at any time. So how to get the most out of this workshop? So be present. I've got one over here doodling, but have your camera on. That way I know if I'm putting you to sleep, ask any questions you may have, take notes, show up for yourself, because this is for you and your journey. First off, I want to introduce myself. I'm your not so average pansexual polyamorous spicy Cajun witch from the bayous of Louisiana. And although they never utter such a word, I do come from a strong line of divine feminine healers who weren't afraid to call in a little hoodoo magic as well. I am 45 years old. I've been married for 75 years. Pardon me, for 17 years, 75 years, 17 years, together 22 with this goofball here. I am the mother of two sassy assholes born almost 9 years apart. So I basically started all over. And I have one handsome grandson there on the right. I have left the bayou. I reside in Fayetteville, North Carolina now, but I still love being surrounded by my family, my tribe, and sharing food, friends, and fun around the fire pit. I am your transcendental coach. I specialize in helping you connect to your higher self while experiencing traditional witchcraft so that you can unleash your inner witch. So let's get started. So if you could take, I forgot about this. Before we begin, it is important to remember all spell work and intention setting is a personal practice. The intention you set should align with your personal beliefs and values. So if we go through something and you don't quite agree with the way I do it, do it your way, you do you, boo-boo, not going to hurt my feelings. This is about you using it your way in your witchcraft. So before we start, I want everyone to drop in the chat box. If I didn't lose my chat box, there it is. And on a scale of 1 to 10, you can't use 5. How well versed do you think you know, you think you are in Moon Magic? We say you can't use 5 because that's kind of faking it, I guess, where you are not wanting to say you don't know it, not wanting to say you do know it. So we always ask that you pick a before or after. Ray, you're not paying attention. Answer the question.
I'm trying, but I'm not seeing it. Sorry.
Chat is usually at the, I have a different Zoom window right now. Zoom window. It's usually at the bottom. It says chat, or you can just shout it out if you want to do it that way. The bigger thing is for you to make a little note of it for yourself, because my goal here is, if you're at a 4, I want you at a 6 before you leave or higher. If you're at a 9, I want you answering questions for me so that you can teach me things I don't know. Ray, how do you feel?
You said 1 to 5 or 1 to 10?
1 to 10, can't choose 5.
Okay.
We don't.
I would say I'm probably a 2 or a 3.
Okay. Ray? She says 2 or 3 also. So so we homeschool, just so you know. She's here, she follows all my workshops. We homeschool, and she uses paganism as her elective. So she does the workshops to save me giving her homework for classwork. But she has she's been asking questions for a long time, so we decided this was just the easiest way for her to do her own kind of thing. So so hopefully I can get you guys into that 6 to 10 range before we leave. And again, any questions, I'll do my best to answer. If I don't have the answer, I'll pull up my book Shadows, I'll look it up, I'll figure it out for us. So today we are going to go through basically a condensed version of the workbook. We're going to have an overview of the significance of the moon and witchcraft. We're going to get into that new moon magic and setting intentions for new beginnings. We'll get into the waxing moon magic that talks about how to manifest our desires. We will take a short break, bathroom break, drinks, etc., and come back for full moon magic, which is reaping the harvest of all that work we've done throughout the moon cycle, and then the waning moon, where we are letting go and banishing and releasing those things that no longer serve us. And then we will talk a little bit about moon placement in the zodiac, like we've been talking about in the group. If you have the workshop, I have a really, we'll look at this, we'll look at it in the slides here, at the workshop. If you have workbook, I have a really long list in there. That way, when you get further into your Moon Magic and you want to use those correspondences, they're there for you, so you know what you're looking for. And then I do have some correspondences that you can continue with outside of this when you get a chance. So first, I want to welcome you to the workshop. We're going to start with the significance of the moon and witchcraft. So that means we're going to explore the phases, what work goes into those energies for our practice, how it's significant magic, and how it's worked throughout the ages. Now, Moon Magic is a powerful tool. It is about divine feminine energy. The moon is about intuition, emotion, and its cyclical nature in life. It's always changing, just like everything else. And many witches use the lunar cycle to time spells, rituals, ceremonies, as each has a unique energy, each phase that you go through. So this is one of my favorite quotes about the moon. The moon is a reminder that no matter what phase I am in, I am still whole, because it is always there. Just like our magic is always there, we just have to tap into it. So when we're talking about the new moon, it represents new beginnings, new intentions, new projects. The new moon is a great time for starting things. That way they can come to fruition throughout the month. The waxing moon, I skipped a slide there and did them both. A waxing moon is about growth, abundance, and manifestation. So that's where we're talking about building in and taking the steps necessary to work into our manifestations. Magic isn't like we see in the movies. We're not talking about witches flying on brooms. It is a realization of our own unique abilities. And so the universe isn't just going to hand us things. We have to work with it, but it'll work with us. So that is why we are working towards that fruition. And when we come into the full moon, where it's getting bigger, we're coming into our full power, getting into that abundance, getting to that fruition, and showing where taking action is coming into play for us. And then, of course, the waxing moon, where we are releasing things that no longer serve us and banishing those things that are preventing us from reaching our full potential and whatever we're working towards. Now, if you don't do all 4 moon phases, if you're really new in this, start with your new moon and your full moon. When you start with your new moon, you're talking about new beginnings. You work towards that till the full moon, where you stop and think about what you've done and how that's worked for you, and start wrapping that up to start your new intentions of the new moon. Working with the moon's energy gives us a deep connection to ourselves, and it's a positive change because it's ever growing and cycling. So with an understanding of that in witchcraft, we utilize the power, we enhance it, we learn to connect to those natural cycles. So throughout the ages, in ancient Greece, the goddess Artemis was goddess of the hunt and the moon. The indigenous people of all countries use that for hunting, gathering crops, fishing, because the moon phases brought about different types of cycles for the animals as well. Chinese Lunar New Year is celebrated on the first full moon of the lunar calendar every year. That's why that date changes every year. In Hinduism, the full moon is a day for fasting and ritual work. Many pagan traditions follow the wheel of the year as aspects. Those generally fall on a solstice, equinox, or moon phase. And then in the Islamic culture, the lunar calendar actually determines all of their important religious observances, such as Ramadan and other things. I used that one because it's something my husband's boss, I was going to say my boss's wife, my husband's boss celebrates at work. So it's always something I think about when I think about those other cultures. And then as always, the moon, we know it affects tides and all of those type of things in life. You know, if you work in the ER, I don't know what field you're in, Belinda, but if you work in the ER, I have friends that are in the medical profession and they just dread the full moon because, you know, it just brings out the crazy. So the moon has always had a profound effect on behavior. So it is, the magic's there, whether we want it or not. We may as well use it to our advantage. So working with moon energy to enhance our magical practice. So since this has been used for centuries, through all cultures, it's worked. So there's no reason at this point, there's no reason to stop using it for us. So when you're working with the moon phases, the first thing you need to do is observe the moon's phases. Take note, working with about how it affects your energy, how it affects your emotions. Use a lunar calendar to keep track of the moon's phases. There's one in your workbook, and again, I put it as a separate download in the portal. So it's never a bad idea to keep track of how you're feeling each moon cycle and use that in your work as well. So second steps, connecting with energy. I don't know how often you watch my lives. I am always harping on meditating. I usually do it in the morning before I get out of bed, but if you could do it under the moon, it is peaceful and it is powerful. So you would just close your eyes, focus on the moon's energy. Again, meditating is not about clearing your mind, it's about focusing your mind. So if we are focusing on the moon's energy, we're going to visualize that energy surrounding us and filling us up with its power. Then you set your intention. So we're going to connect with the moon's energy and set our intentions for our magical practice. What do we want to accomplish? Write it down. Always great to have a moon journal. I have a journal that specifically has a moon on the front of it. And it's not on my desk. But I put all my moon work in there, setting my intentions. What do you want to accomplish? Write it down. And that way you always have it to look back on to build as you go. When working with the moon's energy, we want to, I'll give rituals and spells and ideas in this, but it never hurts to create your own ritual or spell that works with your intentions. So you can use those correspondences, which we will talk about here and are in the workbook. They're actually in the ebook as well. If you want to create rituals and use the crystals that are discussed, the herbs that are discussed. Most of the herbs can be burned. Before you do that, I ask that you check just to make sure, one, that you're not allergic to it, and two, that the smoke isn't harmful. But most of the ones, I don't remember typing anything that's on that danger spectrum. But any of those can be used in your ritual, whether you burn them or whether you soak them and make teas. A lot of, they're herbs that are edible. So it's always great to use those specific things to create your own rituals and spells to work in your alignments or with your intentions. And then always take time afterwards to review and reflect. So did you achieve your intentions? How did the energy affect your practice? As you're working through the cycles of the moon with whatever your intention was, it's always great to look back on the last step and see what has changed since you got into that new step. So that's what we're going to discuss as we are working through these cycles today. So this is the lunar calendar for 2023. This is a page that I said I put up separately. As you can see, August, we have one blue moon. That's the once in a blue moon, where we have a full moon twice in 1 month. So we have that in August this year. Those double full moon energies are always great for feeling the fruition of your work there, even if it's at the beginning and the end of the month like it is here. So let's see, I don't have anybody here from outside, so I don't need to drop that Google Drive link. So we will just go on from there. We are going to start working, start getting details with that new moon magic. This is where we set intentions for our new beginnings. Before we start there, Kay, Linda, do you have any questions on just this overview that we started with? Are you all good, Ray? All good? Okay. I forgot. I usually put myself a slide in there to stop and ask, and I forget because I get into it and just get rolling. So for the new moon, setting intentions for new beginnings, we're going to focus on the power of the new moon in this next section. and how to use this lunar phase to set our intentions. We're going to talk about the practical exercises that we can use, how to set positive intentions, and we'll discuss, and I'll show you the workbook pages on those prompts, how to clarify your desires and align your actions with your intentions to manifest the goals. So this is the page that is in both the ebook and the workbooks. So again, new moon, powerful time, new beginnings, fresh start, setting intentions. And it's going to build into the full moon. So we're going to set, it's planting seeds now, building towards that growth. So this is where I was talking about the focus area, new beginnings, introspection, setting intentions, plant your seeds of manifestation, plan for future goals. And these are the things that I was talking about. If you, these correspondences, if you're creating your own rituals as you grow in your moon practice, to work with the new moon. So the new moon is that first day where you can't see anything in the sky. So black, dark blue, deep purple, those deep dark colors. Moonstones on almost every list for it. Clear quartz. Clear quartz is one of those crystals that works for anything. If you don't have any of the others, don't spend any extra money. Grab a chunk of clear quartz. It works for all of it. The astrological signs that are listed here, when we're talking about astrology, it's a cycle as well. So we start at January, we have Capricorn, then it goes Aquarius, Pisces, etc., till Sagittarius at the end of the year. So when we're starting with new moon, this is where it's going to talk about. These are the correspondences for it. It's not necessarily that every new moon is going to be in these three phases. It is that if there's a specific type of energy you want to work with, this is some of that advanced stuff, but if there's any type of energy you want to work with, these are the signs that correspond with the new moon. So when setting intentions with the new moon, we'll set a mood, reflect in our current state, brainstorm intentions, focus on the present, choose your top intentions, because when we start writing intentions, sometimes we get a list. Choose the ones that are most important for what you want to work with right now. Create a plan and take action. So before you start, when you're setting that mood, always find Ray, come unvelcro this and get it off my chair. It's like in the, I don't know, it's being weird. It's bothering me. So again, create a peaceful environment to work on any of your journals, worksheets, any of your magic, whatever settles you, lights, candles, incense, calming music, anything like that. Take time before you start writing to reflect on how you feel. What's your current situation? What's your current state of mind? What are you looking for? Current goals, dreams, aspirations, and what areas you're wanting to work on or improve. So then when you have that clear start, that's when you start brainstorming your intentions. And when we're writing intentions, we always want to write a has happened, not a I want it to happen. So our psyche doesn't differentiate between sorry, trying to get this camera or video moved screen. Our psyche does not differentiate between the feeling of how we feel thinking about that we have something, imagining that we have something, versus already have it. So it's the when you're in a restaurant and that plate of sizzling fajitas come by and your mouth waters, your brain can't tell the difference whether that's yours or theirs. It just knows that that's what it wants. So when we write intentions, we think, I always think of it that way. You don't write an intention of, I want my plants to grow well this month. You set the intention of my plants will grow, or my plants are growing healthy and strong. You said it as it has happened, it is happening. And the stronger and more detailed you get on that, the stronger you feel about it. So when you're working towards it, you know your goal, your mind, your brain is feeling that goal already happening. So it's already in a positive state. So when you're writing those, so you can start with a brainstorm, write down one words, things that come to mind, plants, seeds, fish, whatever you're doing. I say fish because I'm like aspiring on this great aquarium right now, and I don't even have the aquarium in my house yet. But so that is, just write down these one words and brainstorm it. And then you take from there, pick your ones, your top intentions, and it doesn't matter how big or how small. And then you choose the one that you're interested in, like this is the one that I should really be working on the most. So again, not I want to find a new job, write down I'm in the process of finding a fulfilling job. I have found a fulfilling job. And then once you brainstorm that list and you know the ones that resonate most, you try to pick 1 to 2. And then you can take these intention setting prompts and work through each specific one of them. Or just one, depending on your preference. Depends on how busy you are and how deep you want to take each one. So the next step would be to create a plan, take those steps, and write down the steps you need to make it a reality. Taking action is always the best next step. If you don't know what to do or what should happen next, that's where we stop and look at these intention settings and say, this is what needs to happen next. What can I do to help the universe bring this to fruition? Those taking action during the new moon, new beginnings, fresh starts. We use the energy. It's a great energy. It's positive for making those changes and bringing those in. So the next few pages, especially if you're watching on the replay here and you don't have the workbook, the next few pages, just in this new moon section, I'm going to show each specific workbook page with each of these intention setting prompts. So you have an idea what that workbook looks like. And after that, we're just going to talk about, I'm not going to show you every page of the workbook here. So the first thing you'll do is this is where you reflect on your current state. Start your brainstorming. Focus on your present tense. Choosing your top intentions. And then when you take your plan, intention 1, 2, 3 here, when you're writing out steps, you can always break it down further. But when you're working on, I've taken positive steps towards finding a fulfilling job. What are those steps? Obviously, the universe isn't going to drop a job in your lap. You have to have your resume worked out. You have to put out your resume somewhere. So you can write out those big major steps. And then if it's not moving the way you want it to, then you can take step 1, break it down into 3. You can always break it down more. But start with those major things. Just get it. I didn't write it this way in the workbook, but my favorite high school teacher always said, kiss it, keep it simple, stupid. So we don't want to overwork ourselves here and make it seem like it's overwhelming and unreachable. Just 3 simple steps. And then if you need to, you break that down into 3 simple steps and so on and so forth. So that's why I just have this really simple worksheet here. And again, you can print that out and make where it says intention 1, 2, and 3, make that step 1, 2, and 3 and break it down more. That's the great thing about having a printable. You can print it as many times as you want. And then when you're taking action towards your intentions, remember what phase of the moon you're in. So every phase is going to have a take action sheet, but remember what phase you're in. For the new moon, you're working on new intentions, fresh starts. So make your actions focus on that. So aside from these new manifestations or working towards your intentions, there's going to be a page for every section of the workbook about these alternative spells and rituals you can do for each moon phase. So bath rituals, use essential oils, lavender, chamomile, etc. You can use any of those herbs that are in those correspondences and have a nice relaxing soaking bath. Meditate on your intentions. If you have a jet bath, just remember to put those herbs in a cheesecloth, a tea bag, something like that, so it doesn't get in your jets, but it works great for circulating those herbal essences, I guess you could say. Cleansing rituals, always great for new moons. Sage, smudge stick, Palo Santo, cleanse your home and your workspace of any negative energy. And a lot of people do this every month, the beginning of every month. And set intentions for the energy you want to invite into your space. This can be your room, your workspace, your home, your whole yard if you want to circumvent it, just circumnavigate it. It's all about bringing those energies you want into your space and not I guess creating a barrier. I guess you'd want to say, setting that intention for only those good energies in your space. Candle magic is great for any moon phase. Choose your candles based on the moon, your colors. Your candle colors based on the moon phase. White and black is great for any moon phase, but carve your intention into the wax. And this is where you can use those one word things because you've written your affirmation. You know what that strong, bold intention you want is, but carve that one word into your wax, light it, focus on your intention as it burns down. And tarot and oracle readings to gain insight or guidance during the energy of the new moon phase. So while you're focusing on that affirmation intent that you've written down, ask questions related to those intentions or your goals for the month and work, use those cards as your guidance. So am I going too fast here, Belinda? Am I making sense? Are we good? Okay. Any questions, Ray? No? Okay. You always turn and look at me. I'm on your computer screen. Of course, I do the same thing. I just turn to look at you, so that's fine. Okay, so again, new moon, all about the starting new things, setting new intentions, and bringing new energies in. So my brain just completely went blank on what I was going to say there. I didn't write any notes for this section. So for each moon phase, I like to focus on, like, take that one keyword where new beginnings, new intentions, new, and that way, if I don't have my workbook and I'm trying to work on this, or I don't have my book shadows, a lot of times when I am doing my meditating, I try to stay off my phone or anything like that. If I need that reminder of what I'm supposed to be working towards, I try to use those keywords. So new moon, new intentions, new beginnings, new things. And when we're talking about the waxing moon, waxing is when it is building. So this is how we are manifesting our desires. So this is that moon getting a little bit bigger. This is that Cheshire Cat grin in the sky that everybody in my family now yells out to each other, even the Muggle husband. And we use the waxing moon to manifest our desires and bring where we've set those positive changes in energies. Now we want to bring them in, move towards our goals and make the progress on those goals. So same here with the correspondences, growth, progress, and manifestation. As the moon grows, that is how our energy is growing, our intentions can grow, and how it is influencing our life. So again, we're working with this cycle here. So we're taking action to our goals. We are working into bringing that into fruition. So we are working through those steps that we've written down, building a momentum and focusing on moving forward with confidence. So our focus area for the waxing moon is growth, progress. Why do I want to say process there? Growth, progress, manifestation, taking action, building momentum, using creativity to bring those things to us, and communicating our needs, whether that be to ourselves in our journal or working with other people that we're working with, to make sure that we are on the right track. as you can see here, when we get into the waxing moon and the waning moon will be the same. That astrological sign list is longer because the waxing moon phase goes from the day after the new moon all the way to the day before the full moon because it's growing that entire time. But when we look at the calendar and we see the waxing moon, it is showing us that central time where it is at its apex before it's its central point. So that's how we're looking at that on the calendar. So that's why there are so many astrological signs because we're spanning a larger time of the time frame of the month. So when we're looking here, we are working about setting our intentions. So that's our goal or our desire that we set during that new moon phase. We're working towards that. We're going to visualize ourselves already achieving that goal. We're going to feel those positive emotions associated with that achievement. And again, that's that mouthwatering plate of fajitas. We want to feel that energy. How will we feel when this happens for us? Writing it down, always. There's a reason we have grimoires and books of shadows in witchcraft, and that is because writing it down or typing it. I have online book of shadows as well. Just getting those thoughts out of your mind onto a piece of paper or onto a screen just really helps you set those goals and push those things into your mind so you remember it further. Write down any actions you can take to help manifest your goals. So if you're working towards that new job and your resume is 3 years out of date, update that resume, upload your new one to LinkedIn, start putting it out there. We're going to take actions. We're going to make this plan. We're going to take actions towards our goal. When we get into creativity, so we can do a visualization process, a sigil, a symbol, a vision board, something that represents our goal, whatever it is. And you can jot it down on your workbook. You can put it on your desk. You can keep it where you see it. My desktop has a picture of my grandson on it because that's my goal, is to get next step, visit him. There's a picture of Ireland on it. Step after that, I want to go to Ireland. So those are my goals. There's also a picture of this is my desktop on my computer screen. There's a picture of a circle of hands after like what are those? The marathons, a lot of colors, but it just reminds me of bright, happy, energizing friendship. So those are my goals, to keep those kind of people in my life. So I visualize that every day when I see it. So you're going to make sure you place that somewhere that you see it frequently, in your altar, in your planner, your phone screen, your computer screen, just somewhere where you don't forget that this is what you're working towards. So in your journal or in your workbook, the journaling prompts we're looking about is, how do we feel about the progress I've made on the goals? So between the new moon and the waxing moon, have you made any progress? What worked for you? What could you improve on? What challenges do you faced, and how do you overcome them, or how have you overcome them? And if you haven't, or if there's something you're still struggling with, how can you overcome them? And that's when you stop there and you break that down, your steps, into smaller steps. This isn't working. We're going to break it down more, and we're going to make it work, because that's the goal here, is to make it work. Always use self-care practice while you're working on those things, because if we aren't at our best, nothing else is going to be right. There's no use in watering a dead plant. We have to keep ourselves on a higher level as well. So if there are any practices that have worked for you, ones you want to try, that's more things you write down. Meditating, cultivating positivity, gratitude journaling, shadow work, if you're working into those type of goals. All of those are things that are self-care practices, as well as those ritual baths and those sort of things we're talking about. There's all self-care is a big level. So it is basically whatever feeds your soul, whatever you need to work towards those things, whatever will make you feel best and enhance yourself. And then since you've set your goals, what opportunities have come up? So those are things you really want to keep track of. And sometimes we don't think about it. We may have gotten, we put our resume on LinkedIn and we got 30 spam emails, but there were 5 that were good. So focus on those good things. Those are opportunities. And then capitalize on those. Email them all back. Send in your resume to all those. So we want to keep working towards those goals. And then we always think about the lessons that our magic are teaching us and apply those to our future endeavors. So that's where we always write those down, because next month you're going to come through, you're going to look at these things again, and they're going to be there for you. Have I lost anybody? We're still good. I don't think she signed in this morning. She's just lost over there in her own little world. So waxing moon spells and rituals. Candle magic here. We're going to choose the color that corresponds specifically with your intention. Green's abundance, pink's love, those sort of things. On the first day of your waxing moon, and this could be whatever you view as the first day. So this could be the day after your new moon, or this could be on that calendar date of the new moon. But light that candle and focus on your desire, and allow that wax to drip onto paper. And again, fire safety, but allow it to drip onto a piece of paper. I wrote this backwards. Write down your intention on the piece of paper, put the candle on top of it, let the wax drip down onto it. That's what I meant. Once the wax starts hitting the paper, you stop it and allow that candle to burn a short time each day until your full moon. And that way you visualize your desires manifesting with each burn. So that's just a good visualization magic there. Abundance jar. So when we're waxing, we are growing, right? So this is great. We're going from the small nothingness of the new moon into that full round belly of the full moon. So take a jar and fill it with items that represent abundance to you. Coins, herbs, crystals, whatever makes you feel like you have more, you have most, you have greatness. If and visualization's a great thing. If what makes you feel full is getting kisses every morning, throw some Hershey's Kisses in there. Just make it fun. And also write down your intentions, place them in the jar, and seal it with a lid. Now you don't have to glue it. This is a mason jar. Close it with a lid. On the first day of the waxing moon, and then anytime you need a reminder or you want to freshen it up, hold that jar and just visualize all that abundance flowing into your life. So they say, I say keep it on your altar as sacred space. I have altars all I have altar stuff on my desk. I have altars in 3 rooms in my house. So just wherever you're going to see that, and again, it's to keep it forefront in your mind. I've also been known to take it when I don't feel like it's going my way and just shake the tar out of it. So, whatever works for you to make you feel like it's doing something for you. And again, the tarot or oracle card readings, pull 1 card each day during this phase and use it for insider guidance on, think of it as an action card. What can I do to move closer? And then journal those things. Any actions you might take, and again, always reflect on those processes. So this is moving a lot faster than I thought. I thought I would have a lot more of the free viewers. So does everybody need a break? Does anybody need a break, or are we good to just keep on going? Jet through this. Ray, are you good? Do you need a break? You're always hungry. You're a teenager. Okay, so you have me at your beck and call 24/7. So go grab you something to eat and come back. I'll keep going with Belinda. Real quick, this was my midway point, and during the break, I was going to, or right before the break, I was going to discuss a new program I have out. Are you ready to get unleashed? I literally just fleshed this out with my business advisor. So I have a subscription plan. So this will be a private Facebook group, members only. We would have a monthly focus. So just like we did Moon Magick this month, we'd have a monthly focus area, but the members would get to vote on it. So the members in this group will vote on what we do in it, and in turn will be in my free group as well. But one of these workbooks would come with it every month. Print quality grimoire pages. There will be member only live trainings once to twice a month. It depends on how many people we have. The Coven connections that I do for the Will of Year rituals. Those will come free with it. The monthly workshop, VIP, lifetime access like these would be 50% off. And then that training portal, like this is in, is with live training replays, all the workbook uploads, the discussion boards, all that would be available as well. And I had a link here somewhere. Aha. If that is something you wanted to look into, I will put that. There's the chat box. Put that in the chat. I'll throw it in the membership area as well, since the chat's not wanting to find you with Zoom. There is a weekly subscription, a monthly subscription, or a yearly one-time purchase for that. Monthly subscription knocks off quite a bit from the weekly subscription. The yearly subscription is about 20% less. It is an auto subscription, but not the yearly. That's a one-time, because that way it doesn't get charged again automatically. But basically, I'm not contacting you and pushing you. This is all done through the subscription service, so you don't have to worry about me having your credit card information or anything like that. So based on the live trainings, especially if you do 2 a month and having all those other things, less than a daily frappuccino. I'm a Starbucks junkie, so all my brain goes to how much a day would that cost me. So I really like these one-on-one things, so I just feel like that subscription plan could give us more of that. So just something I have in the works if you're interested. And again, I will send you that. Hi, you found the messages. Awesome. It just popped up over here. So we are moving into now our full moon magic, where we are reaping the harvest of all of those things we have done. So the full moon is a powerful and potent time in the lunar cycle. It is full, the moon is at its peak. It is full energy, full illumination. It is a great time for celebrations. In history, I just whacked my microphone. In history, it is, that is when crops were harvested, hunts were done, because it stayed brighter longer. So we've set our intentions with the new moon. We've taken action with the waxing moon, and now we are reaping the benefits during this full moon in its heightened energy, and all these abundant vibrations that we have in the universe. So full moon, one day, right in the middle of the cycle. That's our Cancer cycle. So that's your astrological sign for that. It's only full one day. We don't get a whole growth spectrum like we do for other moons. It is, again, full moon is feminine energy, intuition, creativity, and is always discussed as that powerful influence on nature, our thoughts, our emotions, our patterns. It's a great time for manifestation, celebration, or release. So the full moon is great for any type of magic you need to do, but I like using it to reflect on the things that I've done, that I've created, that I've made work for me. And it's a great opportunity, because on the day after the full moon, we're going to start that waning phase where things are going to start, the moon is going to start dissipating in the sky. So it's a great time to start realizing what you need to get rid of, what's holding you back, and renew your intentions. So we're talking about celebrations, abundance, illumination. And when I say illumination, it's not just light, it's what things have come into mind of what needs done. It shows us things that are nearing completion, and what can we wrap up. And then that full belly of the moon is also reminds us of fertility, and that's not just us. I don't know about you, I'm past that point, but we're talking, our crops, fertility in our life, our business, our world. So full moon's full of energy. So our worksheets are about reaping those benefits and being grateful. So we're going to reflect on the progress we've made on those goals since the new moon. So we've gone, you've got about a 14-day cycle here. So how is this working for you? How has the moon magic, has the moon energies of the moon helped you build on your goals? In our reflection prompts, we're talking about, was there a time because you're that you have felt really strong, resilient, or capable? How did that inner strength push you towards your goals? And what part of our inner self do we pull on for that? What resources did we find that made those things possible for us? And how do we continue to cultivate that same energy and inner strength um, to keep forward, moving forward in each lunar cycle? And the great thing about Moon Magic is it can be done 365. We can change it every month. We can change it in the middle of the month. Just depends on how fast we want to work on something. Um, Again, we're gonna always express gratitude to the universe and to ourselves. We've worked hard on these things, right? So we're going to express gratitude for what we've accomplished. Um, Try to always try to write down at least 3 things. If it's not something that you can focus specifically on that intention, write down 3 things you're grateful for right now. And then work on cultivating that attitude of gratitude on a daily basis. For gratitude journaling, my life coach tries to write in her 5 new things every day. And she tries not to use them more than once every 2 or 3 months. And when I first started, I realized that that's hard. A lot of times you just want to say, I'm thankful for my kids, I'm thankful for my husband. But you get to do that the first 2 or 3 days. And then you run out of things that are easy, and you have to really start thinking about the things you're grateful for in your life. So taking visualizing the steps you've used in your magic are great ways to cultivate that positivity in your life, or that gratitude in your life for yourself and your own magic and workings. After that, we are going to take a moment to release any negative beliefs or behaviors that you're ready to let go of. Habits that no longer serve you, limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are those things that those little niggling things we tell ourselves in the back of our mind that just keep us down. And sometimes we don't realize them. Where something happens and you're just like, all right, dummy, quit doing that. That's a limiting belief, because if we call ourselves a dummy 3 times a day because something happened that was beyond our control, that's the things we start believing, and it's just in our brain and in our mind there, and that becomes a limiting belief. So those are the things that we want to focus on not doing anymore. Let go of those things and make space for positive change. Okay, she brought a whole loaf of bread. Um, um, Step 4, we're going to take a moment to celebrate ourselves and our progress and our accomplishments from this lunar cycle. Try to do that in a positive way. Maybe you haven't got that job yet, but you've gotten some hits. You've put out your resume. You're going to the second interviews. Be grateful for that. Celebrate that for yourself. And then always remember to renew intentions for the next phase. And start thinking about what you're accomplishing now and what you're going to, how do you add on to that, the next phase? Because we always want to build and get stronger. It's not necessarily something you have to start working on the full moon, but something you can build towards. And then you can also take that 3-step intention worksheet, and you can use that for, what do I need to let go of, and how are the steps to do that and let go of that. Thank you for turning off your camera while you're shoving your face full. And again, breaking things down into those steps keeps ourselves accountable. So again, just something to work towards. So full moon spells and rituals, full moon baths, herbs, crystals corresponding with the full moon energy, light candles and play calming music, visualize negativity and stress leaving your body, and feel the energy of the full moon filling you up with light and positivity. Moon water. Full moon is a great time to do moon water. Leave a jar of water out under the full moon overnight to charge it with the energy of the moon. Try to bring it in before daylight, but a lot of people say that if the sun hits it, the power is gone. And I don't feel that. I feel like the moon's too powerful for that. So if you happen to sleep in, not a big deal. I have a gym junkie husband who gets up before daylight like an idiot. So when I put moon water out, I just make him bring it in when he goes to the gym. So if you have that bonus in your life, use your resources wisely and do it that way. You can use your water for cleansing, for rituals. Just a reminder of the full moon. When you can do this for any phase of the moon, but when you are making your teas or tinctures for with the herbs for that moon phase, you can always use the water from the previous moon cycle to do those things as well. Full moon release rituals. Now, these are powerful. You write down your negative energy, you write down your limiting beliefs. We've done that in the journaling prompts, right? Write it down on a piece of paper, a loose piece of paper. And you're going to, it's burn it and release it into the universe. But what you're going to do is, because a lot of times we have to write on bigger paper and you don't want to just burn it because I feel it's dangerous to just burn a loose piece of paper. I like to fold them. So if you're releasing energy, you fold your paper away from you. So if you have you've written your things down. I don't know if you can see my little camera here, but fold away from you because you're getting rid of it. You don't want it to come back at you. You're folding it away from you, always away from you. And that's when you burn it. If you're doing it the opposite and you want to bring things into your life, you hold it and fold it towards you. So burn that paper. As you watch it burn, visualize all of those obstacles, all of that negativity leaving your life, and feel lighter. As it disappears, blow those ashes out onto the wind, flush them depending on what you're trying to let go of, what kind of visualization do you need to show that it's gone, and release it that way. And full moon meditations. If you can do this under the light of the moon, this is amazing, but visualize yourself in that surrounded by that energy of the moon. Allow those negative thoughts and emotions to drift away and focus on the positive energy and things you want to bring into your life. Any questions up to this point? No? Good. Any questions over there in the peanut gallery? Right. You're supposed to be focusing. Do you have any questions about the full moon stuff? Okay. So waning moon magic, this is when we are gone from the full moon to the dark moon, so we're disappearing. This is about letting go and banishing. So we're harnessing that energy when it's decreasing from full to new. It's associated with letting go, releasing, banishing. It is a great time to fully release those old habits and patterns that no longer serve us. It's a great time for introspection, getting deep into our psyche and thinking about it. Great for shadow work and working there. An ideal time to release any negative energy. Focus on banishing obstacles in your path and make way for progress, anything that you feel is blocking your progress. Waning moon, because we're coming from that full to that new where the light's disappearing. This is a time for closure. This is time for endings. Anything you need to release, get rid of in your life. And again, we're on those astrological signs where there's more because we are closing. We're getting back into those darker colors, darker crystals. And there's some more there. Oh, the herbs. I know we haven't talked a lot of them, but as like wormwood is one of those darker herbs. That's one that you definitely have to be careful with. Wormwood's the one that absinthe was made with. They got it banned. So you're getting into those darker, I don't want to say darker magics, but deeper magics, um, because these processes are difficult, right? Go back here. These processes are, these are harder. Letting go, releasing, getting rid of those things that don't serve you, or don't serve your highest good. A lot of times we don't want to realize that, we don't want to see that. So it takes a little bit more work to get there. Um, so we are reflecting on the past, reflecting on how far we've come, um, and really considering, this is what I've been working on. Even if things worked, what made it complicated? What made it not as easy as it could have been? And learn how to release those things, be it negative self-talk, unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, any energy that's no longer serving you. You want to use the energy of the moon to explore that darker side, confront it, and get it out there in the open so you can let it go. It is a process where we need to support ourselves. You could create rituals to help you let go of that, write it down, burn it, create a spell or a ritual that banishes obstacles, banishes blockages. But we're looking at practices, routines, and rituals that support ourselves. There are, in the journaling prompt where it says step 4, considering to use the tools and ingredients suggested in banishing spells to create a powerful energy. That banishing spell is one that I put in the Facebook group this week. So that's what that's talking about there. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that banishing spell. It can be your own tools, your own ingredients, but really think about how those things work for those intentions, to get around those obstacles for you. Writing things down has always been that catalyst to opening those things up for me. But not everybody does things that way, where I write profusely paragraphs. Some people doodle, some people write one word, brainstorming type things. But whatever that visualization is that you need to show you to get it out. So your journaling prompts, what are you ready to let go of? What fears or limiting beliefs are holding you back? How do I support myself? How do I use the energy of banishment to release the obstacles? And then to bring back into serving yourself, how do you share that gratitude, be it with yourself or with others? Always sometimes we don't realize how hard we've worked or how far we have come until we let it out, until we write it out in the Facebook group and tell somebody, until we sit down with our friend and tell them. I had a life coaching session in my group, my life coaching group, and my coach said, so hey, how's that thing going you were working on? And I was like, wow, I never realized that I've never really talked about it. That I wrote in the group this week, where the letting go and that guilt I had associated with the kids. So I didn't realize how far I'd come until I was able to sit there and talk to her about it, and didn't hurt as bad anymore. So sharing it is, how can I share my gratitude with others? But sharing it really shows gratitude for yourself and how hard you've worked. So always work on giving back to yourself in a way that aligns with your values and your values. And then once you've worked this full lunar cycle, because we've come full circle now, how do you align your intentions with your values and your energy? That once you've worked a full cycle, you really start understanding what you're looking for in your life, in your practice, in your craft, and where your values and your intentions align, where your inner truth is, what your higher self is looking for. And so always, last step, if it's the last thing you do on the night of the night before the new moon, sit down and think about how far you've come, how those things work for you, and what this has shown you for steps you want to take, the values you want in your witchcraft. Everybody has a different way of doing things. Nobody's wrong. But it shows you, it gives you an introspection on where you want to be in your work. So alternative waxing moon spells and rituals. Same with the ritual baths, but this time salt baths. Salt is very releasing and cleansing. Another thing here can be magnesium, but magnesium is a very strong element. So magnesium baths, sometimes you come out of those just feeling rough, but you feel fantastic the next day. Stay hydrated if you do magnesium baths, read up on them. But it's a powerful way to cleanse your energy, release negative emotions. When we do cleansing rituals, or anything you read, see, or hear about witchcraft, salt is in it. So add a cup of sea salt to a bath and visualize that salt drawing out toxins, or magnesium drawing out toxins and negative energy from your body and your aura. Again, this is on those deeper, stronger spells. Shadow work. The energy of the waning moon is great for shadow work, and working through deep-seated fears and negative emotions. Journaling, meditating, working with a counselor, a therapist, a coach, anything that helps you get those things out. I actually have a shadow work journal I'll be uploading onto the website soon, trying to get it just right. But if you haven't done shadow work starts with those. It's a very deep, everything is questioned. Why do I do this? Why do I feel that way? How do I, what caused me to feel this way? It gets really deep, and it's very releasing and opening. Jar spells, banishing jars. So similar to the banishing spell, opposite of the abundance jar. You fill a jar with herbs, crystals, and objects that represent what you want to release. So anything you're feeling like you need to get rid of, that's what you're putting in there. You're going to seal it and you're going to bury this one. So I always suggest not using glass, use a plastic container, and you're going to bury it. If you do not live on your own property, especially those of you watching on the replay, if you do not live on your own property, I just recently purchased my own home. So until this last year, I couldn't bury things in the yard because it wasn't my yard. Bury it in the back of the closet, just anywhere where it's out of sight, out of mind, it's gone. And it's symbolizing you're banishing those energies from your life, those things, those thoughts, those feelings out of the way. You don't want them anymore. And then decluttering. Waning energy is great for decluttering your physical space, but not just your physical space, your mind. So release items that no longer serve a purpose or bring you joy. Marie Kondo, your life, your home, your house, your head, get rid of it. If it doesn't bring you joy, you don't need it anymore. It creates a sense of clarity and spaciousness in your life and mind, and lets those new opportunities flow in. Okay. So I feel like I rushed through that. It's been one heck of a day, and I thought this was going to take us hours. So, but again, if you have any questions at any time, you do have the portal to ask me questions, or Facebook message me, either way. To get in deeper on this, I will be doing the live that I missed today. I'll probably do it some point tomorrow to finish those little lives I do. So after the workshop, where are you on your scale of 1 to 10? Have we bumped you up at all? You feel like you got a lot to process?
Yeah, I would say a 4 or 5 now.
Okay. I know it's a lot, and I have a tendency to what's the word I'm looking for? I usually have another friend here that I teach beginner witchcraft stuff, but I've been doing this for decades. So sometimes I get too deep for the new people. But if I've taught you anything, that's bonus for me. I do that's the goal here, is to help and teach. Ray, have you bumped up? Do you understand a little bit more? I know we do a lot of Moon Magic around here, so we I did Moon Magic in April because it really played into the manifestation stuff we did in March, because it adds on to each other. So it shows you to just use that growing cycle to manifest your intentions. So I'm glad we bumped up a little bit. Any questions, any help, once you're working through the workbook, if there are any questions you have that I can help get you to a 7 or 8, I would love that. So please let me know at any time. Our next step here is moon placement, and I think I left these in the ebook and everything as well, so I'm probably not going to sit here and talk about all of them, but I did write them out. So the zodiac placement of the moon is an important factor when we're working on different types of spells and rituals, and that's what the things have been about in the Facebook group. So right now we are coming into that's why I take notes, because I forget things. We're in April. We are in so we just had a waning moon yesterday. So May 5th is the full moon. So we are full moon in Scorpio is what we're coming into. So right now we would be working on the gratitude and the fruition of the things that we have accomplished in the lunar cycle. So let me zoom through here and find Scorpio, just because it is all of these are in there, but it's basically just what each sign is known for and what it is ideal for and what we're working on. So Scorpio, intense, passionate, and transformative energy, ideal for spells involving power, transformation, and sexuality, best for deep inner work, shadow work, and working with the mysteries of life and death. So we are coming into next week, full moon in Scorpio. And so because we're coming into that full moon, which is a highly powerful time as well, a full moon in Scorpio is great if you have any of those transformation rituals, you want to do those manifestation things. We are also right now in Mercury is in the Taurus node. So Mercury, when you look in the sky, it is in the Taurus sign. That's what this means here. I guess I should have said that at the beginning. So when you find the moon, it is in the constellations. That's what I was looking for. The constellations in the sky. That's what it's in. So right now, my brain, the picture in the sky. So right now, the full moon is going to be in the Scorpio constellation. Right now, Mercury is in the Taurus constellation, and Mercury is in retrograde. So thank you for my automotive disaster today, Mercury. But wasn't as bad as we thought. My husband's genius figured it out. So that's what we're talking about here, where it's placed. And once you get further into working with Moon Magic and you're creating your own spells and you're creating your own rituals for that, that's when these things come in handy when you want to get deeper into it. Taurus is nope, I went the wrong way. Nope. Taurus is not on here, the first and the second one. Okay, so Taurus is a grounded, stable energy. So the good thing about Mercury being in Taurus right now is that it is not as unstable as Mercury retrograde usually is. My life and business coach is a Taurus. They are, if you know any, they are very down to earth, no nonsense. This is how it is. Secure people. So that's where all these zodiac correspondences come in. So again, this is that higher level stuff. That's why it's at the back of the workbook. But I just wanted to include it in there for when you are ready to start creating your own magic, moon magic, and want an extra boost for something. If you're looking for something specific to do, it's cool to find which zodiac works with that, and look for the right moon phase in that at a certain time. So just more fun that can be done.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What can you just say one more time? How did you figure out when the moon is in what phase?
I use a website called, hold on, because I never remember it. My favorite one to use is called, pardon me, I'm going to mute for a second. I don't know why I am. Okay, I'm not going to mute. Sorry about that. It's astro-seek.com is the one I use, because I would drive myself batty trying to figure it out myself. But it says moon calendar.astroseek, but if you just look up astroseek.com, astro-seek.com, it'll come up as well. And it shows you the moon phase every single day and what sign it's in. So right now we're in the new moon in Taurus. Nope, that was the 20th. The 28th, we are first quarter moon in Leo. And my mouse just died. Give me 1 second because I can't get back to him. I thought it was dying last night, and I ignored it. Aha, okay. Yeah, astroseek.com. It even goes into deep as to telling you what organs are influenced and whether you should have surgery or not. It's pretty detailed, but really accurate on those placements. So, or if you just want to know what the moon phase calendar is today, it's always there. And gives you a little bit of a, I don't want to say a zodiac reading, but tells you gives you a little bit of that moon magic, how it's affecting you, type reading, kind of a horoscope, but specifically about the moon, not about everything. So I just think it's a really cool site. It's one I've always used, just to when I want to know what phase something's in. So our next where am I at? Okay, so journal prompts, questions for when you are working with moon phases and moon placement. It helps us understand the type of energy that's available to us during the lunar phases. And it helps us select spells and rituals if we're wanting to build those. So let me go to May here. Yeah, full moon in Scorpio. I was right. I couldn't remember for sure. But full moon in Scorpio. So I think that's why I wrote it here. The full moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is associated with transformation, so we can focus things for our full moon on transformative practices. It is it can aid us in setting intentions and goals aligned to specific energy. So to help you determine how to use it, this is the journaling prompts I have here. So what's your current date? And what's the zodiac sign the moon's currently in? And that is the astro. See, and I actually have the link on this on my notes for this page that I completely forgot about. So how does the current sign resonate with you? So if you know, if you follow astrology and you have a certain feeling about Scorpio, you have a certain feeling about Taurus or whatever, write down, how do you feel about that? Do you have a particular affinity or connection or disregard for that sign? How do you feel emotionally or physically, emotionally and mentally today? Are you energized? Are you driven? Are you introspective, contemplative? That can give you more insight into the energy of the moon and the phase it's in. So always, again, write it down and reflect on any events or emotions that come up. And can you connect them to the zodiac sign or to the moon phase? So that's always something to look into if you're using those zodiac placements. And then, of course, how can you incorporate those energies into your daily life and magical practice? So again, that's a little bit more on the advanced stuff, but it is the fun stuff. So I wanted to include it in here. So it is, again, while you're working through the phases during the month, if you're just starting out with the beginner stuff and you're just simply working with the phases, if you're working with new moon and full moon, start there and keep track of how those phases are making you feel. And then you add, the other phases, keep track of how those are working for you, how you're feeling there. And then as you start adding the zodiac in, you'll start seeing patterns on how certain things work for you and make you feel. So again, just some fun stuff. I don't want to say it makes the magic more effective, but it helps us focus it more effectively. So getting close to the end here, and it's always important to remember on a journey that our practice, our craft, our practice, witchcraft in general, but and for this one specifically, Moon Magick, is ongoing. There's more out there than I could ever teach in a workshop. Whether you're just starting out, whether you've been practicing it for years, there is so much out there. So in this section, I wanted to add more insights and more resources on how to continue using Moon Magick as well. So ways to deepen your connection with the moon. So we talked about a lot of things today, and then I did those little alternative spells. So I just wanted to put more here. So the first one, moon bathing. So think about the moon, what phase it's in, what energy it holds. Especially if you have a window in your bathroom and you can get in that moonlight, just think about it recharging your energy in that way, in its whatever its power is for that time. And think about afterwards, think about how each different phase charges your energy or changes your energy. Collecting water under the light of any moon phase is useful as well. You can use it in ritual or spells for that particular phase. Meditating under the different phases of the moon can help you connect with its energy and focus on the intentions for that cycle. The moon journaling, so this is where we're keeping track of our progress and our thoughts and experiences and feelings during each moon phase. Even if you don't write a lot on it, if you have a separate book for moon journaling, and today is May 5th, it's a full moon, and this is how I feel, just that kind of thing, just a one sentence, just to kind of get that introspection on what's going on and see if there's any patterns in how the moon makes you feel. Those tarot oracle readings, you can, I have this set here. Let's see. Stop sharing. This set here, I love. My light's gonna. I love this set. There's a Moonology Oracle set, but this is the manifestation deck. Absolutely love it. Each card has something like, full moon in Pisces or something like that. The artwork is beautiful. There's a little guidebook that comes with it, but it gives you a little one word thing there, but then the book goes in to tell you what that means for you, what this one, what screen was we on? Nope, that's not it. It says 3, but I can't find it. All right, hold on. I have completely lost my. Aha, scroll, there's more there. I opened more windows. Okay. Okay, I'll show you yours too. This one, just because they're new and you're enjoying them, I know. I also remember their existence. She wanted me to show you hers. I got her this cute little kit on Moon Magic, Power of the Moon at Barnes and Noble. And this set, I haven't even looked at them yet, had like 26 cards in it. And has a little book. She's got the book over there, but it has each phase and what it's good for down there at the bottom. So she's really just a little beginner set. Oh, it came with a big book.
Yeah.
But so there's so many things out there for the lunar oracle cards.
Like facts, myths and legends, goddesses.
That's really cool. So that was her Ostera gift. So
Since we're doing show and tell, I have
she's got one
link.
too. That
It's hard to see. It's called Moon Lists, and it's basically like a journal.
write that down, right? We're gonna find it because that looks cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have my scrap paper because I threw it at you earlier.
Well, see, I can't see it with all the
yeah, it
picture
takes
on the
the
outside.
picture. Yeah, the green screen.
It's called Questions and Rituals for Self-Reflection, a guided journal.
That's really cool.
Lee
So
Patterson.
I when I was prepping for this workshop, I went to the bookstore and they're getting more and more things like that. Like the section used to be like one little thing and now it's you found what? You found it already? She's already on Amazon. She's like, got it.
Yeah.
But so the Moonology cards, this one here, one thing I like about it, it tells you, okay, so just like a tarot card, you've drawn the card, this is what it means. But then it goes into a manifesting mindset. And then the one I opened is first quarter moon in Sagittarius. And then it has a section on when to manifest. And it says the best time to work this magic is when the moon is in Sagittarius or on a Thursday or during Jupiter's hour. So it gives you all those little things about, so it's really helped my knowledge of using the zodiac signs and the moon phases and stuff like that. So again, you can draw one a day, you can however you want to do it, but there's so many things out there that can just help guide you to continue on the path. Where are we at? 6. So lunar gardening. So if you plant your garden based on the phases of the moon for optimal growth and abundance, there's an old wives' tale about, don't cut your hair on the waning of the moon, cut it on the waxing of the moon because you want it to grow, not shorten. Same for gardening. If you want to, you plant your seeds during the waxing moon phase from between new and full moon, if you want them to grow stronger. So that's that kind of thing. There are also, that I have recently started looking into. I think they're amazing moon gardens. There are flowers that bloom just at night. And I think that's amazing. So there's, other gardening and stuff that you can use that way to, based on the phases of the moon. Moon rituals, so using these correspondences and whatnot to connect with the energy of the moon and enhance our magical practice. Moon phases altar, you can create an altar dedicated to the moon and its phases. Add items that correspond with each phase, those crystals, those herbs, those candles, images of the moon. If it is something, a lot of, especially since the moon phases correspondences are a lot of common herbs and crystals, if you, because it's easy to have a waxing moon altar or a waning moon altar, but a new moon altar, a full moon altar, those ones that are just one day, keep it in a little baggie. That way you can, I have them hanging all over the place. This is these type of bags that I put my tarot cards in, kind of thing. So if you put a little bit of, the herbs, the crystals, the color candle that works for that particular moon phase, and be like, this is my new moon bag, for when you're like, oh, I didn't do that today, just to have it prepped and pre-made. When you're done with the herbs from that day, just kind of re-prep it for the next month, is a way to do that. Visualization techniques, adding in those moon related symbols into all your visuals, your sigils or vision boards. The mother main crone aspect of the moon is always great to add into your vision work based on, I always use the crone symbol since I'm a crone grandmother. I always, if I'm working on a visual sigil symbol about myself, for myself, I always put that moon image in there. If I'm doing it for the spawnlet and she's a maiden, I use that image. So it's always one of those
You're on video. My husband.
hello. Mine got the new
I'll
Dead
be home in a
Island.
minute.
Mine got the new Dead Island game yesterday, so I was like, are you going to be able to have headphones for this? Because we're like back to back here, and I'm like, we don't need to be killing zombies during my. No, that's fantastic. And he wanted to connect his headphones and discovered his computer was broke. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea for me to ask him to do that. So the car and the computer, see, Mercury's in retrograde. But again, those visualization techniques, again, just bring the moon into your work. And then moon inspired art, drawings, creativity. I came across a suggestion to use glow in the dark paint for the moon in your art. That way it shines through, or black light type stuff. So that's always ways you can incorporate the moon into other phases. So I think this page is in your workbook too. Okay, can you go to the last page of the workbook since you have it? You didn't open it? Okay. Wait, I have the workbook on the next page. Give me 1 second. I want to make that way nobody has to write this down.
How do I access this? I'm sorry. I've seen all the workbook pages as you've been flipping through them on the video, but
Right.
or is it in the link or something?
You purchased the lifetime access, so it'll have a portal. You should have an email and it'll say to continue, sign in. And when you sign into that, it'll take you to the page, and there's one that says, I just opened it for her. But there's one that says video, there's one that says downloads, and that's where I have all that. And then there's one that's like the discussion board, or
Is it on an email that you sent me?
I didn't send it, if the system automatically sends it. So when you purchased it, it should have sent it to you from PayHip.
Okay.
If not, if for some reason you don't, let me know and I will figure out what link it sends. I'll go get in her email. I've never thought about that. She logged in today and she's like, where do I go? And I was like, I've never been on that end of it. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, I got a thing from PayHip, but I did it through Facebook. So I don't know if it's like, it's not showing up on my regular email.
Gotcha. All right, well, I'll figure, it may have gone to the email that Facebook goes to.
Possible.
Actually, you know what? Hold on 1 second. I can, because it shows me your email under my. It should have gone to Belinda AK
Belinda AK at
at
outlook.com.
outlook.com is where it should have went
Yeah.
to. That's where the link should have been sent to. And I will go log in with a different email so I can see what you guys see. So these are just books that I suggest for more further reading or whatever. Most of them are on Kindle. Some of them are on Kindle Unlimited. So I read so much that I have a Kindle Unlimited account. So Moon Magick, Your Complete Guide to Harnessing the Mystical Energy of the Moon by Diane Alquist is a lot like what we did today, but more in depth, how to work with different phases, correspondences, and rituals. Witchery, Embrace the Witch's Re-In by Juliet Diaz has a holistic approach to witchcraft. So it's the natural things like we talked about today, including Moon Magick and rituals. Book of Shadows, A Modern Woman's Guide to the Wisdom of Witchcraft and the Magic of the Goddess. I don't know why we don't have short names for witchcraft books. Phyllis Curott. This one talks about creating and working with your Book of Shadows, but including Moon Magick in that. Witch's Moon, Collection of Lunar Magic and Rituals by Ed McCoy. That one is all of these. They're pretty much all the same type, but everybody's own outlook on it. Lunar Abundance, Cultivating Joy, Peace, and Purpose by Using the Phases of the Moon. Really like this one by Z. Spencer. It is talking about specifically on how to use those phases for cultivating abundance and well-being in your life. And then, of course, my online community, Find Your Higher Self and Unleash Your Inner Witch, which I know you are in, where I specialize in helping you find your higher self and experiencing traditional witchcraft so you can unleash your inner witch. And I really hope you have enjoyed yourself today. Again, if you have any questions, when you get logged in, there is a discussion board there where you can send me questions directly on it. Send me messages on Facebook. I'm always glued to my phone, so I'll get it. It's not a problem. Real quick, coming up Monday is Beltane, May Day. I do have a Zoom meeting at 6:30. I do these specifically for the Sabbats and Esvet rituals. So Beltane is not on a solstice or equinox. It is one of those fire festivals that are in between. It's the festival of spring and fertility, honoring the balance of the masculine and the feminine energies in the universe. There is a live Zoom meeting for that as well. You'll still have lifetime replay access. There is a 5 PDF grimoire pages that I created specifically for Beltane, and I can pull those up here in just a second. I do a guided ceremony with a guided meditation. I do live tarot readings for everybody who shows up, and then it will stay in your online portal and training. Generally, those in the past have been $39.90 or $49.99, and they are now going to be $19.99 because I enjoy doing them so much, and I would like more people there. So those are going to be available. Let me pull up those worksheets because I think they came out pretty. When I first started doing these, I did like Lunasa and Llamas and Samhain first, and so they're a darker colored one, and these just came out pretty because they're spring. And let's see, let me stop sharing that one and open share. Isn't and so cover page, actually I guess it's 6 pages, I didn't count cover page. So there will be these specifically for grimoire pages, about the festival and its history, its correspondences, all of them, not just the little teeny tiny ones that I normally put on. I try not to get too crazy on a lot of the when I'm just doing little spells and stuff, but when I'm talking about these festivals, there's so much going on that I put all of them a well ritual and ways to celebrate it, and then a note sheet. So I thought they were bright and pretty compared to some of the other ones I've done. So where apparently I can't have two Canva things open at once. So I guess we're practically at the end of the slides. So do you have any more questions before we sign out?
No, but I'll contact you on Facebook if I need anything, because I'm
Okay,
thinking.
and I'm gonna go sign up with a different email. That way I get that link so I can send it to you. Make sure you get it.
Okay.
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 So until we meet again, just like I close off all my videos, keep meditating, keep working on gratitude, keep cultivating positivity, reach for your higher self, and remember you no longer walk alone. Message me at any time you have any questions, and I hope to see you again, Belinda.
Okay.
I will be doing the live that we missed today with the car issues. I'll be doing it probably tomorrow sometime. I'll figure out what time I have free and I'll put it in the group and let y'all know what time I'll be doing that. So thank you for being here with us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.